Hey everybody. Um, my project is a novel called Jack Sprat's Wife, which looks through the eyes of an American reporter at gay refugees in South Africa who have fled countries that imprison gay people. The protagonist, Hank Hardesty, is an idiosyncratically brilliant journalist who fictionalizes nonfiction stories sort of like Stephen Glass did. A self-styled gay rights pioneer, he convinces himself that effecting change is good even by means of false reporting, but the real reason for his behavior is that he's incapable of the investigative journalism necessary to perform his job well, and he's grown addicted to the prestige that derives from these striking reports that he files from far-flung outposts. When he's commissioned to cover Uganda's so-called Kill the Gays bill, he holds up in an expensive Kampala hotel that's, and he writes a piece of nonfiction that wins an award. He writes a piece of fiction that wins an award for nonfiction. As a result, he's assigned to a more ambitious project in Cape Town, where the refugees he meets make him realize, A, the harm he's doing, B, his hypocrisy, C, the enormity of the problem that he's lied about, and D, the need to write something true even as he keeps telling lies to keep the old lies from unraveling. So, I'll step back and add some context. Thanks to its progressive constitution, South Africa has become a kind of beacon for gay Africans persecuted in their home countries. In Cape Town, a gay community has formed that's unique for its brand of international diversity, and even so, life for gay people in Cape Town is challenging and sometimes brutal for reasons that defy easy summary. And while stories about the anti-gay actions of certain African governments, Uganda in particular, have grown really common in Western media, portrayals of the daily lives of gay citizens in those countries remain pretty rare. Like, as far as I can tell, most people in the US haven't really heard about Cape Town's gay refugee community. So, throughout 2014, I'll be in South Africa on a Fulbright Scholar Grant, volunteering with gay refugees seeking asylum and writing this novel. I spent May of this year in Uganda conducting research for the book. And within hours of my arrival in Kampala, I was seeing proof of how wildly Western media can exaggerate what it's like there. A recent BBC documentary called Uganda the worst place in the world to be gay. So when I flew there, I was like, well, shit, I'd better delete like Grindr and Manhunt and Scruff from my phone before I go through immigration. But you know, I made it through immigration and found a pretty vibrant gay community that was welcoming and open. And it turns out more people are murdered each year in Washington, D.C. for being gay than in all of Uganda, for instance. Not that really bad things don't happen there, but it's the friendliest place I've ever been in my life, and the only homophobic thing that was said to me while I was there was spoken by a tourist from Vancouver. And one of the gay bars, and you'd never really know this from the scary stories in the Times and the Guardian, was like way more fun than any gay bar in the part of Virginia where I live. So by the end of my month in Uganda, I was joking about how I should switch my project around and pitch a novel to Ugandan publishers about how awful it is to be gay in Norfolk, Virginia. Again, not to make light of this and say gay Ugandans don't face profound struggles, but they're mostly different struggles than the ones we read about, and there are quite a few worse places in the world to be gay. So, I want my protagonist to epitomize reductive, knee-jerk thinking about, or thinking in Western reports about gay life in Africa. He's anxious and lazy, and he tells himself he'll stoke useful outrage by exaggerating the brutality of anti-gay regimes as if that's a subject that needs embellishment. The truth is, he knows he's too ignorant to write truthfully and well about such a complex story. Plus, he's a dry drunk who's struggling with addiction. Plus, he's too scared of potential violence to leave his hotel. That fear doesn't stop him like wishing for a coup and a revolution to give him an easy story and make him look brave on CNN and MSNBC. When President Yoweri Museveni shuts down some newspapers for speaking out against him, which happened in May when I was in Uganda, Hank imagines his dream might be coming true. But then the newspapers open back up, and his deadline looms, and so he falls off the wagon and writes this made-up magazine piece called "To Be Young and Gay in Uganda." Thank you. And in part because it's so lurid and novelistic, it goes viral, and everyone believes it, and it leads to his being sought for further reporting. And then in dread that he'll be caught in the lie, he returns to conduct some of the research he's falsified, and it's then when he's led to South Africa in the company of some Ugandan characters who, along with a lot of the manuscript, don't actually exist yet. All I can say about the rest of the book now is hijinks will ensue. And lest it sound like a novel of ideas, I want it mainly to tell a suspenseful, moving, high-stakes story that won't ever be boring. And I want it to be a story that puts its characters in real danger, my protagonist, as well as the ensemble cast of gay refugees whose plight he seeks, albeit too late, to tell the truth about. Finally, I'm supposed to say something about what I need. I need a better title. That would be great. And I need to actually write the book. And I need a publisher. I imagine I won't obtain the third thing on my list before I deal with the second one, but I thought I'd mention it. Plus, I need a publisher for the new story collection that I just finished this spring. Actually, a 2-book contract would be super. Thank you.